A very good morning to all our viewers. You've tuned into this Friday edition of Newspresso live on Moneycontrol with me, Stacy Pereira. In the next few minutes, you know the drill. We're going to be giving you a lowdown of all the top stories from across the globe, insights from into India, all the earning updates, as well as the top trends that will keep you ahead and give you the edge above all the others. So let's get straight to it and bring you all that we're getting from our global dispatch. It was a mixed session on Wall Street. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite both lost around 0.7 and 2% respectively. The Dow, though, was the outlier of the three, adding nearly 164 points or about 0.5% for the ninth straight day in a rally, its longest since 2017 and the highest close it has seen since March of 2022. Now, strong earnings from Johnson & Johnson is the one that boosted Dow, whereas Netflix and Tesla, those were the drags and weighed down sentiment for the S&P as well as Nasdaq. Now, for the week, though, the Dow and the S&P 500 are on the pace to finish on a higher note at about a 2.1% and 0.7% respectively, whereas the Nasdaq, that one is poised to end lower by about 0.4%. And in European markets, that closed higher on Thursday as investors assessed those implications of some of those big U.S. corporate earnings that we saw, and also the earnings season starting out in the European region. The Pan-European Stock 600 closed about 0.4% higher, and it was the tech stocks that really ended the session about 2.5% lower on the back of those weak U.S. earnings, while it was mining stocks that added a 1.5%. Among stock-specific action in the Euro region, it was Swedish home appliance manufacturer Electrolux, which slid further, falling 20% in trade after missing its second quarter earning expectations. Now, a couple of other earnings are also to be looked forward to before the bell. We have Sweden's Volvo car that will be putting out its numbers, Germany's SAP, as well as France's Publicis, which, to name a few, which will be putting out their results. Asian markets, those ones have opened Friday on a negative note, one could say. Investors are digesting Japan's consumer price index figure, which came out for the month of June. The country's headline inflation rate has come in at 3.3% for the month of June. This is up from a May's figure of 3.2%. Now, the Nikkei 225 is down in about 1.23%, whereas South Korea's Kospi, that one has fallen 0.88%. Kosdaq, though, has retreated from the 16-month high to fall at about 0.85%. Australia has started the day in the red too. Well, barring the Hang Seng as well as the GIFT Nifty, most of the Asian indices are trading in the negative. And veteran U.S. diplomat Henry Kissinger met with Chinese President Xi Jinping during a surprise visit in Beijing, this according to the state media there. Now, details of the talks were not disclosed, though a statement praised Kissinger, calling him a legendary diplomat. The 100-year-old former U.S. Secretary of State was hosted by the Chinese Premier at the Diaoyuti State Guest House. Now, the meeting comes 2 days after the spontaneous talks between Kissinger as well as China's Defense Minister Li Shanghu. Now, this also transpired just about 2 weeks ago, so a lot of talks that are taking place there, and comes amidst that wider effort of thawing diplomatic tensions between the two global superpowers of US and China. And let's get you up to speed with what happened in trade back home here on the Lal Street, where we did see a last hour rally pretty much, which saw the market scaling to new peaks for the second day in a row. We saw the Sensex as well as the Nifty both gaining over 0.5 percentage point. The Nifty is now only just 20 points away in that kissing distance from that 20,000 mark, while as the Sensex, that one broke above that 67,500 levels. It was the bank that led the up move, one could say, the index soaring about 1%, whereas mid-caps, they were the underperformers this time compared to the blue chips. All sectoral indices, in fact, ending the day higher, except for Nifty. IT, of course, those earnings is what is weighing in, as well as the Nifty, if I have to tell you, as a whole, has gained about 3,000 points since the March of this year. So a lot to look forward to, especially if you're going to cross that crucial psychological 20,000 levels. But let's also bring you up to speed with all the earnings that transpired yesterday. Well, we did see Infosys, India's second largest IT firm, that released its Q1 earnings yesterday. But amidst the challenging demand environment, the company has gone ahead to slash its revenue guidance for the fiscal to a sharp 1 to 3.5% from what it had projected earlier of 4 to 7% in the last quarter. Now, the company also missed its estimates when it comes to its bottom line, which came in at 5,945 crore rupees. This is just about 11% increase, whereas Infosys consolidated revenue, that one has increased by 10% on a YOY basis. The company also reported a total contract value, or TCV as we know it, of $2.3 billion. This is an increase as compared to its Q4 of $2.1 billion. But according to the management's commentary, their clients are the ones that are slowing transformation for projects, as well as slowing that decision making, which is what is transpiring in those lower numbers. Let's listen into what Salil Parekh, Infosys' CEO, had to say about the company's performance.
Had a good Q1, we've had good large and mega deals. We've also seen some of these deals, the signings and the start dates being delayed. With that, we see a lot of that revenue from that sort of large and mega deals towards the later part of the financial year. And through the quarter, we've seen volumes in some of our clients in the industries that I shared were impacted, where they were reducing transformational projects or slowing down decision making.
And from IT earnings to FMCG, HUL too declared its Q1 results yesterday, wherein it marginally missed those estimates for Q1. Its net profit was seen growing just at about 8%, while sequentially the profits have fallen 10%. Underlying volume growth too is just at about 3%. Now, commenting on the quarterly performance, Rohit Java, the new CEO and MD, said that the FMCG market has been recovering, but only gradually, and that operating environment still remains challenging. And the Indian government has imposed a ban on non-basmati rice exports. This is in order to bring down the domestic prices that we've seen soaring. Now, however, some of the shipments will be allowed to some countries wherein to meet their food security needs. Now, India accounts for almost 40% of the global rice trade, and globally prices have been shooting quite high. Now, the move comes days after the flood hit many rice growing states in the country, and which is why the government has had to put in this measure. Now, videos circulating on the internet from the state of Manipur has disturbed the entire country. The Supreme Court, in fact, had to take suo motu cognizance of the video showing two women being paraded naked and sexually assaulted in the region. Now, the CJI Chandrachud said that if the government does not act sooner, the court will have to step in. The incident happened on the 4th of May, and about 78 days later, Manipur CM Biren Singh said that only one person has been arrested so far. While social media platforms have been asked by the government to remove the video, Meiti has asked social media to be in compliance with the new IT rules. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi too has spoken on the issue and said he's shamed that the country and the culprits will not be spared. This is the first comment that has come from the Prime Minister after the violence began 2 months ago.
मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है। मैं सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे अपने राज्य में कानून व्यवस्था को और मजबूत करें, खास करके हमारी माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए कठोर से कठोर कदम उठाएं।
Now, since the announcement of ChatGPT, the world has been talking about artificial intelligence and how it will revolutionize the generations. But, well, to tell you the least, it is going to be various emerging markets that are going to be using AI tech and tools. But did you know that K-pop sensation BTS too has recorded, and its record label Hybe is using artificial intelligence this time around to convert their Korean songs not into just one but 6 different languages. Listen into this small snippet and try and tell the difference between AI and the original. Well, could you really tell the difference? Because I'm quite psyched about this, because this is South Korea's largest label called Hybe, and this is the one that manages the boy band BTS, and they are in process of currently taking weeks or months of completing this whole process, wherein AI is also put in play. But this could be one day when, the whole server and a range of purposes that they will use AI for. But let's listen into how they plan to do this. This is the CEO explaining how this technology will really work.
We divided a piece of sound into different components: pronunciation, timbre, pitch, and volume. We looked at pronunciation, which is associated with tongue movement, and used our imagination to see what kind of outcome we could make using our technology.
Well, if you are as fascinated as I am and want to know about how this really works, tell us in the comments and maybe we'll make a video for you especially dedicated towards this AI tech. But also from the world of AI, let me now move you and take you out of space. Well, I'm talking about the latest that we're getting from the James Webb Telescope, which has detected now carbon-rich dust grains. Now, this discovery is huge as it has happened for the first time in a billion years after the birth of the universe. Now, according to the James Webb Telescope, this observation raises the idea of a distinct species of carbon-based molecule. And these could be small granules like graphite or even diamonds that were created by the earliest star or supernovas. This discovery is as big as it gets because it opened up a new possibility to investigating the early universe's complexities, mechanisms, and also that it might have created this enigmatic dust grains. And it's Friday, so how can we not talk about the movies? I'm sure all of you may be cooking up some plans for the weekend. And if you haven't still, then that simultaneous premiere of two of the much anticipated Bollywood blockbusters, yes, I'm talking about Barbie as well as Oppenheimer, are finally hitting the silver screens today. And we want you to decide if you're in Team Barbie or in Team Oppenheimer. So let me help you make that choice. Well, both the movies are definitely made by two of the best cult directors. So if you're a Barbie fan, it is that pink fantasy comedy by Greta Gerwig, who narrates the life of Barbie and Ken in their Barbie land. But if you're looking at Oppenheimer, well, that's quite the contrast. A somber drama by Christopher Nolan on the biography of Robert J. Oppenheimer. And this is how his knowledge changed the whole nature of war forever. But it is really this juxtaposition of mood, character, and theme that has quietly stirred a conversation among people, right from memes that are doing the rounds to these existential questions of should we really and where we are in life today. Well, both of them have received spectacular ratings as well as reviews from the audience. But which one will the box office give a thumbs up to? Well, you'll have to come back here on Monday when we have some numbers of those opening figures for you. But for now, you can sit back and enjoy this weekend with a bucket of popcorn and these two movies to choose from. But also, let's tell you through the day what you need to be looking out for. Well, post the Jio Financial demerger that happened yesterday from Reliance Industries, former SBI CFO Charanjit Athara has now joined Jio Financial Services as the COO. Now, the company definitely we await to see what the official listing date will be, but we also have the RIL AGM, which will happen today, and perhaps through that is when we're going to get to know the future date of listing. Also, we do have a day after this announcement of that £4 billion deal with UK, Tata Motors and JLR has now appointed a new CEO in Adrian Mardell. Now, he will be taking charge for a term of 3 years, whereas Richard Molineux, he's been named as a CFO. And for more action from the courtroom today, we do have Supreme Court, which will be hearing petition filed by Congress leader and former MP Rahul Gandhi in that Modi surname case. So Rahul Gandhi is seeking a stay on that conviction in that defamation case. So that is going to come up in the world of from the courtrooms. But with that, it's a wrap, and hope this dose of Newspresso was useful and informative for you and gave you that kick start of the day. Yes, of course, it's the weekend. So don't forget to come back on Monday morning, same place, same time, because we'll be here with your fresh shot of Newspresso. From everyone putting the show together, thanks so much for tuning in.